Rob Zombie's 2007 reimagining remake of Halloween is a movie I've seen before, and there were certain aspects to it that kind of left me a little bit cold. It's been a while since I revisited this one, and I was curious to go back to see this reincarnation of Michael Myers.
Hey Mikey, how's your mom doing? You know, my old man said that for $1 she'd rub her tits on his face. Shut up.
And it's a kind of weird film, a film of two varying halves. First, we get the tale of Michael Myers as a young kid. What made him the monster that he is going to be? So we get to see his home life. We get to see his school life. We get to see the actions that he does that makes him end up in a mental hospital, and how he retreats into himself there and becomes the monster that we know. It feels like such an aggressive caricature of what a destructive home life would be, where you've got the injured father that won't work, the mum who's a stripper, the sister who father is sexualizing, the little baby that's constantly crying in the room, and the son who is harming small animals, killing them, and taking a great deal of pleasure in that. And the language in the film feels like what an old man would think kids talk like a lot of the time, and it feels kind of clunky.
What are you, Mother Teresa?
No.
Yes, she is. Look at her. She's like a little angel. She's motherfucking Teresa.
What?
When you get to the second half of the film, it becomes a more straightforward Halloween film. In fact, it becomes Halloween 1978, as we pretty much just remake that film. We get updated actors and situations and production standards, but the music, the moments are all there, and it harkens back to that original film. But it just makes me wonder why. It feels like Rob Zombie has managed to work in some of the things he likes, but other than that has been pretty neutered along the way. And although I think he does a fairly decent version with the second half of the film doing the typical Michael Myers stalking things, he's sticking to the blueprint of the first film, and that really kind of limits the approach that they have, and it never feels fresh or unique. It just feels like a kind of skewed perspective of that first film that we kind of grew up with and love.
Is that the boogeyman?
It's the first half of the movie that always puts me in the back foot. That overly aggressive, foul-mouthed, grimy start is unnecessary. I like the idea of this masked killer to come out of nothingness. I don't want a reason. I don't want something. I don't want the fact that he's been picked on in school, that he's got a horrible home life. I just want there to be pure evil in this character. Something is just wrong. It's not excused, it's not reasoned, it's just darkness that is wrong. I mentioned before that some of the dialogue in here feels really clunky. It just doesn't sit right, especially coming from the actors, when you've got teenage girls saying things like this.
Hey freak! Hey freak, you want some of the young stuff? You like that? Well, come and get it! Hey!
It feels like something that an old man would put into the mouths of those girls. It just doesn't feel natural for the characters. There is a single voice all the way through this, and it doesn't differentiate the characters. Although you get some great performances, like you've got Malcolm McDowell, who I think does really well in this one as an iteration of Loomis. It was always a kind of movie that never quite gave me what I enjoy best about Halloween movies. And Halloween as a franchise is very inconsistent anyway, but this feels like one it's fine, it's an interesting take, but it almost feels like a fan film. You know, they're copying the blueprints, they've added a little bit before extra, but they don't really do much different with it, which is a real shame in my eyes. I want to like it more than I actually do, and I think it's not aging particularly well either, which is a shame. I have never seen the sequel to this one, and I've heard that it's very divisive. which I like the idea of, because when something makes people that kind of mad and angry, it's usually something interesting in it. Whether I like it or not, that'll be something that will surprise me, I suppose. But just now, Halloween was fine, good. I watched the director's cut, so it's more of that zombieisms throughout it, which I guess may not be the best way to go, but I'm kind of looking forward to checking out the one Halloween film I've never seen, Halloween 2, and I'll report back when I've checked that out. I would love to know your thoughts on Halloween 2007. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you have any issues with it? Or do you think it's a pretty great remake? Let me know in the comment box below, because I'm genuinely interested to see where you land on this remake of Halloween. There is more content up here where you can see more of my stuff, and in the description box below are links to the Patreon membership program and manvfilm.com, all ways in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.